Good evening to all. I welcome all of you to the fourth day of our program. So today we are having our FDP coordinator, Dr. Sanjay. He is going to deliver talk on teaching learning based optimization, Jai algorithm and the Rao algorithm. So shall we start, Dr. Sanjay?
Yes, madam.
Okay, we can start.
Madam, my screen is visible now.
Yeah, it is visible. Visible.
Yes. Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to day four of the CCE program on soft computing techniques for emerging application. So, in today's lecture, I am going to cover 5 algorithms proposed by Professor R.V. Rao, NIT Surat, okay, from the year 2011 to 2020. So Professor Rao contributed 5 very famous algorithms, although 3 algorithms are proposed in the year of 2020, but rest 2 algorithms are very popular algorithms. We are going to discuss these 5 algorithms in today's talk. So first, I'll focus on the teaching learning based optimization. So as a teacher or as a student, every day, whatever the process we are following in our day-to-day class activity, that is the same concept of teaching learning based optimization, right? So in this optimization, you will see when a teacher teach a particular thing and a student listen to that particular lecture, so some process is going on in between the teacher and student, right? Similarly, whenever the student is going to hostel or home after the end of the class or end of the day, okay, in the hostel also the student may discuss with another student or his batchmate about whatever covered in today's class, right? So in two step, we are going to make this optimization. In the first step, we are going for our teaching process where a teacher teach and student listen. Second phase where a student is interacting with another student and discuss whatever the topics covered in that particular day, right? Based upon that, Professor Rao proposed TLBO, I think in the year of 2011. After that, as I mentioned, TLBO is a two-phase algorithm. One is your teaching process. Second is learning process, right? First phase is, you can say, is between the teacher and student. Second phase is in between the student and student, right? So these are two steps are there in the TLBO algorithm. So Professor Rao in year of maybe in 2016, he merged these two steps into a single step, and he called that algorithm is called Joya algorithm, right? That is the second algorithm we want to discuss. After that, recently in the month of June, July 2020, Professor Rao proposed 3 important algorithms, that is Rao 1 algorithm, Rao 2 algorithm, Rao 3 algorithm, which we call it a Rao algorithms in a combined manner, right? And this algorithm is recently proposed, and Professor Rao wrote a mail to our Honorable Director, Professor N.B. Ramana Rao, to share this algorithm among the faculty members. So our director shared this Rao algorithm with all the faculty members. From that email, I came to know that there are 3 algorithms proposed recently. So I have gone through the papers of Professor Rao, and based upon that papers, just I prepared these 3 algorithms, that is Rao 1, Rao 2, Rao 3 algorithm with illustration, right? Complete illustration. But Professor Rao mentioned a very important thing in this paper, which I mentioned in the point number 3, that is introduction to Rao algorithm. I will tell you some of the important aspect he discussed before proposing Rao 1, Rao 2, and Rao 3 algorithm. That is in fact a very important thing and a very important discussion in today's date. That we will discuss in the section number 3 of today's talk. Coming to the first algorithm, that is TLBO, yes, as I mentioned, it was proposed in the year of 2011 by Professor R.B. Rao. So Professor R.B. Rao is a professor and is in the HSC scale in the Mechanical Engineering Department of NIT Surat. So he proposed this algorithm. And this algorithm is based upon the population. Like genetic algorithm, we discussed about population or chromosome. The similar kind of things also used in the case of teaching learning based optimization. So this algorithm also takes population in order to optimize a fitness function or objective function, or in order to reach to a near optimal solution. And if you go for TLBO uses a population of solutions to proceed to the global solution. So it is not in this all the meta-heuristic approaches are close to the optimal solution, right? Or you can say close to the global solution. So each and every population in this TLBO, okay, every population is giving a complete solution. Like I mentioned, every particle representation or every chromosome in the PSO and GA algorithm is giving you a complete solution. Here also, each and every population is giving you a complete solution. It may happen that the solution is better or solution is poor, but each and every randomly any population you pick, you will find a complete solution in that population. So there are two parts in the teaching learning based algorithm. First one is called as teacher phase. Second one is called as learner phase, right? First page is nothing but a classroom teaching, right? In classroom teaching, a teacher generally takes class of a group of students. Maybe the batch is 40, maybe the batch is 60, or maybe the batch is 120, right? So a student listen to the teacher's lecture, right, and try to upgrade his knowledge, right? That's why it's saying learning from the teacher. Here, what happened? The student is learning whatever information is covered in a particular class. So it may happen that, in our case also, it is true. Whenever we are teaching in a particular class, a student may learn a particular thing, a student may not learn a particular thing, right? He may not be interested in the lecture. Maybe the lecture is bored, or the lecture is too much mathematical. Due to some problem, the student is not learning in that class. But many students are also there. They are learning in the class is covered by the particular teacher, right? So what is the main motivation of going for this TLBO is that if you see each and every student has a knowledge level, right? Every student has a knowledge level in each and every domain, not necessarily in his subject knowledge, right? It may be any knowledge, right? So once he is listening a particular lecture, right, his knowledge is upgraded, right? Wherever, if a student is not listening anything, or if the student is not interested in a particular class, he is sitting idle, then his knowledge level is not degraded, right? That is the main motivation why TLBO is preferred over the genetic algorithm or particle swarm optimization. So in this algorithm, if you see in the genetic algorithm or particle swarm optimization, your solution may degrade at any point of time, right? Based upon the parameter, because you are fixing various parameter. One parameter is crossover probability, another parameter may be mutation probability, okay? And many steps are we are following, right? So at any point of time, you may not reach to the you may not reach to the global solution very quickly, right? So in that case, is there are several parameters are there. These parameters may deviate, may take more time to reach to the global solution. But in this case, what happened? We assume the knowledge level of the student is either upgraded or the knowledge level of the student is same. Okay, whenever he is trying to listen to a particular lecture. In the second page, what will happen? The learning will be done by a particular student with another student, or you can say a learner is discussing with another learner in order to upgrade the knowledge. Like whenever there is examination, what people are doing, they are sitting in a single room. Okay, maybe a class topper, he is going to explain the topic whatever covered in the 30-40 class within 30-40 hours, right, or one day. So the same thing will be listened by other learner, and they are going to upgrade their knowledge level. Okay, so first step is your classroom teaching. Second is, you can say, whatever things they are learning in their hostel. So with these two steps, TLBO is working. So I will take because the algorithm may look a little bit complex, right? So what I have planned, I will tell you an example how the TLBO algorithm works. Then I will show you the algorithm. If you are interested, you can go through that particular algorithm. So in order to go for the example of TLBO, in mathematics there is a very popular function that we call as a Himabula function, which is defined as f of x is equal to x1 square plus x2 minus 11 square plus x1 plus x2 square minus 7 whole square, and I have taken the boundary for this particular function is minus 5 to 5. Yesterday class also I told you there is a lower limit, we are picking UIL, okay, and there is a upper limit, that is you can say uh, UI upper, right, and your values will be lies in between the lower limit and upper limit. So in this case, I am specifying minus 5 as my lower limit, plus 5 as my upper limit. And our objective is to minimize this function, right? This is our objective function. Our objective is to minimize the function. I will tell you, if the question is about maximization, then what you will do in the case of TLBO in the later stage. So in order to process the TLBO algorithm, what you need population size. Last class also in genetic algorithm, we discussed the population size is 8, right? We are dealing most of the slides, whatever we discussed, where we have taken only 8 population and we are trying to perform all the steps with respect to that population. So here also it is a population based algorithm. So we are taking the population size as 5. What is this population size? This population size is also called as your class size, also called as your total number of students in a class. For example, in our class 60 students are there, so I am taking population size as 60. But for a illustration or simplicity of the illustration, what we are doing here, we are taking the population size is only 5, right? Next, you need to fix another parameter that is called as your decision variable. Okay, so what is decision variable? I want to evaluate the student, right? In my class, let's say 5 students are there. Let's say student 1 to student 5, 5 students are there. So how I am going to evaluate these 5 students? I have to say that which student is performing better, which student is not performing well. So in order to evaluate the performance of these 5 students, what we are doing, we have taken 2 different subjects, right? One is your subject 1, let me write SU1, another I am writing SU2. So this subject 1 and subject 2 is called as your decision variable, which we represent in this particular in the form of this function, or you can take the student subject 1 is your x1, okay, and subject 2 is your x2, right? So in this equation we have represented this Himabula function in terms of 2 different variable. One is x1 and x2, where x1 x2 represent 2 different subjects, and total number of population we have taken 5, right? And I have set my termination criteria. Termination criteria I have selected as 1. Okay, means after one step, whatever result will come, that I am going to accept. But in the simulation process, this value should be selected as 10 or 20 based upon your past experience. Or in like genetic algorithm also, I told you, after 20-30 iteration, we generally stop. But as a part of illustration purpose, I will only iterate one time in order to illustrate how TLBO algorithm is working. I already mentioned the range of these values are minus 5 to 5, and how I am going to select the value for x1 and x2 by following the uniform distribution. So in MATLAB, you have a random function. Last class also I told you the function name is RAND. This function you can use to generate the random number for your initial population. For example, if you are generating the random number in between minus 5 to 5, assume that these values are generated. Okay, these values are generated. Those peoples are interested to know how to generate this value. You please note down this command. The function is you have to type in the MATLAB, that is RANDI, right? Then you have to specify your minimum limit, Okay, and you can represent the maximum limit, minimum followed by the maximum. Then you have to mention two things. One is the order of the matrix. For example, it is look like a matrix, so it is having five different rows and two different columns. So I am writing here 5 comma 2. If I write like this and I press enter button, then a similar kind of matrix will be generated, right? Every time you will get a different matrix. Okay, and this function follows pseudo random uniform distribution, right? So please note down this one. Those who are interested, you can MATLAB, you can type, you can select the minimum limit here, it is -5. Your maximum limit is +5. In the limit of -5 plus 5, you want to generate a 5 cross 2 matrix, right? So what you will do, once these values are generated randomly, what you can do, you can calculate the fitness function. In order to calculate the fitness function, what you will do, you can put the x1 value as 3.20, right? 3.22. X1 value is your 3.22, right? And x2 value you can put 0.403. 0.403. Similarly, here also x1 value you have to put 3.22, x2 value as 0.403, and you can calculate this equation. As there are two unknowns, we have taken two different variables, or in our classroom teaching case, x1, x2 is stated as two different subjects. So what we are doing, we are calculating this function by the help of this x1 and x2. So once you evaluate this one, you will get 13.139. So I request if anyone is having scientific calculator, quickly you can type 3.22 square plus 0.403 minus 11 whole square plus 3.22 plus 0.403 square minus 7 whole square. So I hope you will get the value 13.139, right? Similarly, I have in another case, I have put this value as 0.191, 2.289 in the Himabula function, and
Hello,
I got the value as 77.711. Yes,
hello, hello,
yes,
Sanjay sir.
yes.
Rand I is for integer generation of integer, but here real
Oh, sorry,
number.
sorry. Yes, yes, sorry. That you are right, sir. This is for integer one. Sorry, you can generate using RAND. I'm sorry. You are right, sir, because I am using random number for integer. That's why I'm using RANDI. Okay, you can use RAND, right, to generate the values in between -5 to 5. Okay, so if I put the x1 value as 0.191, x2 value is 2.289 in this equation, then you will get the fitness value as 77.711. Similarly, you can put the values of population 3, population 4, population 5 into the Simogola function in order to get their fitness value. Once you have calculated the fitness value of all the 5 population, as the objective is to minimize, you can say this particular population is a good population in comparison to 2, 3, 4, 5 population, right? So apart from that, what you have to do in the first step, you have to calculate the mean of x1 as well as mean of x2. That is nothing but sum of these 5 values divided by 5. X2 means sum of all these 5 values divided by 5, right? So if you do that, you will get the value as 2.093 and 1.697 respectively, right? So what we are going to do here, here you can see we are picking only the minimum one and we are picking the mean one, right? So you know that the mean is nothing but we are also called as average one, average student and a minimum student, right? And what we have to do, we have to do the learning between this minimum one and mean in the very first step, so that the minimum solution will be sorry, the average solution will be reached to the minimum one, because minimum value is always the better one, because we want to minimize this function, right? So the average value, if it will in each and every iteration it is close to the minimum value, that indicates that we are reaching to near optimal solution. Okay, so what I have done here, in the very first step, after finding the minimum fitness or minimum population, identify the minimum population and the mean values. What you have to do, you have to calculate the difference in mean for subject J. We have two subjects. One subject is your x1, another subject your s2. Just I want to find the difference in the mean for a particular subject. Then I will calculate for the second subject. In the first subject, just I want to see what is the difference from mean to the minimum value and the difference from this value to the mean value for the x2 case also, right? So here you can see in the formula proposed by Professor Rao, he mentioned that you can calculate using a random number that is in between 0 to 1. Then you can take xj star. Xj star is nothing but whatever score you achieved in your minimum population. For example, you can see here wherever you are getting the minimum fitness, their x1 value is 3.22. So this value I have written here 3.22. For the subject 2, the value is 0.403. So I have written 0.403 here, right? So for the first subject as I am calculating, so I am generating a random number in between 0 to 1. Let the value is 0.25. So I am keeping it is 0.25. xj value is my 3.22 minus TF is called as our teaching factor, right? Generally, teaching factor is calculated as round of 1 plus u, where u is again a random number, right? For example, I am generating a random number for this u. I am getting the random number is 0.1270. So if I will put here round of 1 plus 0.1270 is equal to 1, right? If it is more than 0.5, then you can take 2, right? Or you can discard the decimal point, you can take the round number as well, right? So in this case, the teaching factor we have taken as 1. So this TF value is substituted with 1, and the mean of that subject, you know that mean of the first subject is 2.093. So I am putting 2.093 here. That will give me the difference in the mean subject 1, that is 0.2818. Similarly, what I can calculate for the second value. Second value is nothing but I have generated another random number. Let the random number is 0.43, and the second subject, the minimum fitness value, if you check, there the second value is 0.403. X2 subject value is 0.403, where we got minimum fitness. Then I am taking that subject mean, that is 1.697. So 1.69 I am putting as a mean of the subject, and same the teaching factor I am generating. Let the teaching factor is 1. So I am putting here, right? Then it will give me the difference in the mean for subject 2, which is minus 0.5564. If you have remember that I told you in the case of PSO, your range is, if the range is defined as -5 to 5. So while you are calculating this value, it may happen that the value may go outside this particular limit. If it is going outside the limit, then you have to restrict it to the lower limit. For example, if the value is coming -6, so I can restrict it to -4.99 or 5, right? -5. Similarly, if it is exceeding +5, then I can put +4.99 or 5 in order to restrict the solution to my particular source space. After finding the difference in the mean subject, what I am going to do, I have to update these values among all the populations. So what I am doing, this 0.2818 minus 0.5564, I am updating with all. Why I am updating with all? Because this is your minimum fitness. In this case, you are getting the minimum fitness, which is desired with your problem statement, and this is your mean subject. That's why whatever calculation we are calculating using these two, that is difference in the mean subject, is going to be updated in all the population, right? For the first subject case, we got 0.2818. For the second subject case, we got minus 0.5564. That's why I am updating with all population. After getting update population, that is, if you add these values, you are going to get these values x1 and x2. Once you get this value, you can put the same x1, x2, whatever you got here, into the Himabula function. Once you put in Himabula function, you can find your current fitness, right? After updating the value, you are calculating the new fitness. It may happen that, like I told you in the genetic algorithm, when we are producing the offspring or the children, it may happen that children is better than the parent or children is not better than the parent, right? So in the same similar fashion, what we are doing here, whatever fitness we have in the previous slide, that is this slide, okay? The fitness function, same fitness function I am writing here by mentioning old fitness function. And after updating this value, I am calculating the new fitness. So I am comparing whether the new fitness is better or the old fitness is better. So you can compare here. If you see, the new fitness is 13.3037 and the old fitness is 13.139, right? 13.139. So what I am doing, the old fitness is better than the new one. So what I have to do, I have to keep the old population, I have to discard the new population in this case. So in this case, we are discarding the new population. Similarly, but if you see in the population 3 case, your new fitness value is better than your old fitness value. So what we are doing, we are removing the old sample and we are replacing with our new sample. That's why it is saying keep new f of x if it is better, else retain the old solutions. That I have represented in the form of bold color, right? So that you can get your updated value after your first phase. So this completes the first phase of your TLBO. That is what happened in the classroom teaching. Okay, so once the classroom teaching is over, the student will go to their respective hostel. In the respective hostel, they will find one neighbor, right, or their batchmate who understood the concept. They will discuss the concept with that particular person, right, in order to upgrade their knowledge, right? So this value, this is the updated one, right, where the first two population we are keeping as the first one, and these three population are updated, right? So in order to select a pair to discuss the things whatever covered in the class in the second phase, what happened? Each and every population will find a particular pair. For example, if you see here in the random pair column, the first one is nothing but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is the population numbers in their chronological order. Then one generate a random number in between 1 to 5 or 2 to 5. One generate a random number in between 2 to 5. Let the random number is coming 2. So it has to make a pair with 2. Similarly, 2 generate a random number, okay, from 1 to 1 or 3 to 5. Let the value is coming 5, so it has to do pairing with 5. 3 is generating another random number, so it is getting 1. 4 is generating random number, it is getting 5. 5 is generating random number, it is getting 4. So you can see while they are doing the pairing, it may happen that one population is repeated in this one population may be repeated, means that whatever population you are choosing for your pair, it may be duplicated. It may happen in our case also, it happened because many people trust a particular student of a class to discuss their thing, right? So as we are generating these things, so some values may be repeated. So you can see here 5 is repeated twice and 3 is not there in the random pair. In random pair 3 is not there. Nobody selected 3, but 3 selected 1, but nobody selected 3 as a pair. So let us see how to do the learning in between 1 and 2. So in order to make a pairing between 1 and 2, so what I have to do, I am taking the sample 1 and sample 2, right? I am taking the sample 1 and sample 2 as my random pair is 1, 2. Once it is over, I have to do the 2 and 5, then 3 and 1, then I have to take 4 and 5, then I have to take 5 and 4. So after the interaction of the pair 1 and 2 in the learner phase, the knowledge level is updated like this using the second formula. So there is only two formula. There is no other parameter to monitor this algorithm, right? That's why it is also called as your parameter-less algorithm. There is no crossover probability. There is no mutation probability here. So here if you see, there is a random number is also there. So for the subject 1, there is a random number. For subject 2, there is a random number. That's why I generated 2 random number in between 0 and 1. Then what I am doing, I am putting the values whatever I got here, whatever the pair I have selected here, I am putting into this formula. For example, you can see 1 is doing pairing with 2. So the formula is nothing but x of pz dash, that is nothing but 3.22 plus the random number is 0.47. Then I have to take my own case, own based one, that is your 3.22, and I am pairing with another person, that is 0.1910 for the subject x1. So you can put the value xbj is 3.22 and xwj is the value of 0.1910. Okay. Then if you calculate it, you will get the value as 4.6436. Similarly, for the subject 2, you have to take 0.4030 plus uj value is your 0.33. Then you have to find the difference between these two learner, that is 0.4030 minus 2.2890. Now I am getting another value minus 0.2194, which is calculated by solving this particular equation. Once you get your new value in the learning phase, that is 4.6436 and minus 0.2194, what you are going to do, you have to put this x1, x2 value into this Himagula function. So once you put this value in the Himagula function, you are getting the fitness value as 112.3816. And you have seen your own fitness is 13.1390. I am not taking second fitness because you initiate the pairing process with 2, right? 2 is not initiated with 1. As 1 is initiated the pairing with 2, you have to check your fitness with the fitness of whatever you have achieved here, right? And you have seen the fitness level is more, right? As there is a minimization problem, the lower fitness is better. So we have to keep the old solution even if there is a pairing between 1 and 2, right? Means the discussion between pair and 1 and pair 2 is not fruitful, right? That's why we are keeping the old solution only. After that, you have seen that here we are using the pairing of 2 and 5. So I am taking the sample 2 and sample 5. So what I have to calculate? I will calculate 0.1910. Random number is 0.47. And the difference between 0.10 and minus 2.4958. Similarly, for the second subject, what I have to calculate? 2.2890. 0.33 is my random number, and difference between these two, which results the value as 2.9419. Once you get this updated value of x1 and x2, what you are going to do? You have to put these two value in the Himagula function. If you put these two value in the Himagula function, you are going to get the fitness value as 53.3166. But if you see your own fitness, because 2 has initiated the pairing with 5, the fitness of 2 is 77.7110, which is improved to 53.3166 after doing pairing with 5. So we have to keep the new solution and we have to discard our old solution. Like that, if you do the interaction, whatever I mentioned here, 3 bit 1, 4 bit 5, 5 bit 4, you are going to get this particular table. So as you can see, if you remember the first slide, the best population is 13.1390. The best fitness value is 13.1390. But after doing one phase of the teaching process, another phase of the learning phases, or the teaching phase followed by the learning phase, the solution is increased to 12.38975. Like that, you have to iterate multiple times in order to reach to a near optimal solution. Okay, this is the algorithm. You can go here. I have mentioned in the phase number 2 and phase number 3, whatever we calculated, difference between the subject and calculating the new fitness in order to check that new fitness and old fitness, which one is better. In the learning phase, you are doing the pairing and you are calculating the knowledge level you are upgrading here. So 4 and 5 represent the learning phase. So this algorithm is same as whatever we discussed. Those who are interested in this algorithm, they may go through this algorithm. So if you have any doubt regarding TLBO, now you can ask before starting the second algorithm.
Sanjay sir, good
Yes.
afternoon.
Yes.
Sir, in TLBO,
Yes.
whatever you are saying, the decision variable, let's take for example the knapsack problem.
Yes, yes.
Yesterday you solved it in genetic algorithm. If the same thing is solved using this
Yes.
TLBO, so how
Yes.
many decision variables and will be taken and what will be the mean value?
You have to
What
for
we have said.
sir, for NAFSA problem, suppose
Yes.
total number of, I told you, in market total number of vegetable available, let's say 12, right? So I have to take 12 decision variable.
Okay.
Okay, then I have to generate a matrix. Suppose my population is 5, right? In this case it is 5. Okay, so I have to take a 5 cross 12 matrix. Okay, where each and every column represents a design variable, and you have to process the same thing.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Any
Thank you.
any other question about TLBO? Otherwise, we'll go for Java algorithm.
Sir, hello.
Yes, yes, sir, please.
Yeah, what is the termination criteria in this algorithm?
Termination criteria are here. You can take a predefined termination criteria, or you can take if the value is below a particular limit, which is very difficult to find, or you can say if any two successive iteration the value is not improving, then you have to stop. Such termination criteria you can put here.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Hello, Dr. Sanjaya.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Please.
actually, yeah, normally in the teaching learning methodology, we assume if the number of learners are more, the teaching is not effective, right?
Yes.
We
Yes.
normally see with the big classes that
Yes.
teaching is not effective if the number of students are more. But
Yes.
do we here consider more population number or less population number for effective uh, minimization or maximization of the objective?
In TLBO, ma'am, as I told you, if you come to the learning phase, you are doing the random pairing, right? If the population is
Correct.
very huge, if the population is
Yes.
very huge, then obviously there is a complexity will increase, so there is a slow convergence rate. So it is suggested that to take only less population, right?
Less population. Okay.
Yes. More population if you choose, then it will increase the complexity of this particular algorithm.
Okay. But the diversity will be more when we use more population members.
Definitely, definitely. And finding population is also not a easy task. What is the optimal population for a particular problem? Finding that one is also
Yes.
very difficult. In any case, any optimization algorithm case, it is difficult.
Correct. Correct. But most of the evolutionary algorithms, they are more effective when we use more population members.
Yes, yes.
So I was just looking at this one whether it goes with less population better or more population better.
You can vary, man. We have to write the
Yeah.
algorithm, then we can vary the population, right?
Correct.
And we can say in our
Yeah.
problem case, in this population, then the result is better.
Okay. Anyway, trial and error
Yes,
once
yes,
again.
yes, 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 yes.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you.
So now I'll tell you the second algorithm. Second algorithm is Jaya algorithm. Generally, this word Jaya is a Sanskrit word. The meaning of this Jaya algorithm is victory, right? And whenever I teach this particular algorithm, I remember one of the joke of Three Idiot movie. If you have seen that movie, in that movie, there is a dialogue that in order to be the topper of a particular class, in order to retain the position of topper in a particular class, you have to do two things. One is you have to study well. Second is you have to see that other people are not studying well, right? If both criteria is satisfied, then you can retain your first position in a particular class. The same concept is applied in the Jaya algorithm. In Jaya algorithm, we are using the same type of equation, whatever we have seen in the TLBO. But what happened? This algorithm is a one-phase algorithm, but TLBO is a two-phase algorithm, where teaching phase is followed by the learning phase. We are doing in the TLBO. But Jaya algorithm, both phase is merged into a single equation. And this algorithm tries to get closer to the success. It is saying you have to choose the best solution and you have to move towards the best solution. On the other hand, it is also tries to avoid the failure by moving away from the pros solution. That solution which is not better, we have to far away from that solution. In the solution which is good, we need to reach that particular solution, right? So let us see how the Jaya algorithm works. So here also I am going to take a fitness function or a objective function, that is f of x, right? In this case, the fitness and objective function is same, but it may be different in the case of genetic algorithm, right? So here I am taking fx is a objective function, which our objective is to minimize or our objective is to maximize. We are taking m number of design variables. Like last case, we have seen the two subjects and n number of candidate solution. Last case, we have taken 5 number of population. Similarly, here also we will take the 5 number of population. So in the equation, you can see in order to go for xn, in order to calculate the xn is our new solution. You have to take xn minus 1, which I represent here by x. So x is your current solution, xn is your next iteration solution, or you can say new solution. How you are going to do? You have to choose two random number, one is r1 and r2, and you have to choose the best population. Here you have to choose roast population, right? That's why you are comparing your performance with your best population, and you are also comparing your performance with your roast solution, and you are subtracting that from the equation, right? So that you will keep closer to the best solution and you will be away from the roast solution. So that is the concept used in the Jaya algorithm. And all the accepted function values at the end of the iterations are maintained, and these values are input to the next iteration. Obviously, whatever the mating pool you are getting after the end of a particular step, that is used in the next phase in order to carry out the further calculation. So let us take the same example, that is minimizing. Our objective is to minimize the Himabula function, that is f of x. The same function I am taking the population size as 5, and our design variable also I am taking two different subjects. But here I have given termination condition is 2 number of iteration, right? So 2 iteration means we will use 2-step process, and after 2-step process, whatever value we are getting, we are assuming that the value is out of the population, one population is the best population. So what I am doing, I am generating the random number in the range of -5 to 5 like LBO. Once that is generated, these values are put in the function f of x. We are putting these values in f of x. Once you put the values in the f of x, you are getting this fitness. And as our objective is to minimize this function, obviously the lowest value is the best solution and the highest value is the roast solution. That's why you can see blue color I have represented the best solution, red color I have represented the roast solution. So once you are finding the best and roast solutions, what you can do, you have to take a single population. You know that second population is your best population, fourth is your roast population, right? So what you have to do, you have to start with 1 and use the 2 and 4 population, because 2 will give you the best one, 4 will give you the roast one, right? Similarly, you will take 2 to 4, again 3 to 4, again you will take 4 to 4 and 5 to 4. Every population will be updated by means of the best solution and the roast solution. So in the first case, I am taking population 1. I want to improve the population 1 using the best population as well as the roast population. So I told you this particular formula. So what I can do, I can write 3.15 is my current value, plus I have generated a random number R1. Let's say the random number is 0.68. It may be any value in between 0 to 1. And the best solution value is my 4.06 minus what is my current value. My current value is 3.15, and we are taking modulus. If it is a negative, then you make it positive, right? So I am calculating here. Similarly, I am taking another random number. My second random number is 0.76. I am keeping 0.76 here. And if you see, the roast solution is 4.13 and my solution is your 3.15, right? So that is XW minus my current position. So once I put this value, I am going to get the value as 3.02. Similarly, for the second subject, what I can do, minus 4.02 plus the second random number, that is 0.74. Then I have to calculate the difference between the best solution and my solution, right? Only this modulus function is there, which makes minus 4.02 a positive number. Similarly, I have to take another random number, that is R2, that is 0.39, and I have to calculate in between 4.58 and minus 4.02. Okay, so if you calculate, you are going to get minus 8.86. So instead of 3.15 and minus 4.02, here the value is updated to 3.02 and minus 8.86. But in order to update this value, what we have to do? We have to put these two values in the Himabula function. If you put this value in the Himabula function, you are getting the value as 5668, which is much higher than your current fitness value. As your old fitness value is better, we are keeping 3.15 minus 4.02 for population 1 and we are discarding 3.02 and minus 8.86. Next, what I will do, I will take population number 2 and I will, for the population number 2, I want to update its x1 and x2 value. So I will take the best solution as well as I will take the Roche solution. So you can take 4.06, random number is 0.68, then your value, your best value is 4.06, your current value is also 4.06. So this is 4.06, 4.06 is Venice, right? And in this case, okay, Roche solution to your current solution, that is 4.13 minus of 4.06. So you are getting your x1 value as 4.0068. Similarly, for this case, you can take minus 2.22. Best solution to your value, that is minus 2.22 minus 2.22. Similarly, you can take random number as minus 0.39 and you can check with the Roche solution with your current solution. That is 4.58 minus of 2.22. If you calculate, you are getting the updated value as 4.0068 and minus 6.4260. Once you get your update value, whether to replace with this population or not, what you have to do, you have to put these two value in the Himagda function, right? As you know that 2 is the best solution, right? You may not get a best solution after that, right? You may get in this case, but in this case you are not getting, right? So as the old value is better, so what we are doing, we are retaining this 4.06 and minus 2.22 value and we are discarding the new value. This will give you the population 2 with your best solution and Roche solution. Similarly, you have to do with population number 3 with 2,4, population number 4 with 2,4, population number 5 with 2,4. After doing these steps, you are going to get the new value like this, right? New values are getting like this, and this is your okay. This is the new value, right? And this is our old value, right? Or which one is old? Let me check once. Okay, the first one is your old value, and second one you are getting the new value, right? So you are comparing the population of 177.53 with this one, and obviously this value is better than the new value, so we are keeping the old one, right? But if you see in this case, the old one is giving 128.89, but new one giving 1.31. So I am replacing that population, that is minus 3.81 and minus 3.12 will be replaced with minus 3.73 and 0.47. If you replace it, the value is like this and you are getting good fitness, that is 1.31. So this ends a single step of our Jaya algorithm. So where you can see earlier the best value is 14.60, but after one iteration the best value is reached to 1.31. Like that you have to do the second step. Again you have to repeat this step another time, and once the step is over then you can stop, because your termination criteria is 2. After termination criteria 2, whatever value you are getting, among that value you have to choose which one is the best one, right? So this is the end of the Jaya algorithm. If you have any doubt, you can ask before moving to the Rao algorithms. Any doubt in the Jaya algorithm? Teaching factor is calculated as a round of 1 plus u, where u is a uniformly distributed number. You can generate in between 0 to 1, right? Then you have to round that number. That is the value you have to choose, right? As 1 plus u means the maximum value will get 2, right? You are asking range, right? Range is either 1 or 2, right? Okay, if you don't have any doubt, let us go for the third type of algorithm. But before that, I told you I will tell you a very important introduction part, whatever written by Professor Rao. It is a very interesting. So Professor Rao, after developing these three algorithms, which is called as Rao's algorithm, in that paper he mentioned that these optimization algorithms, if you see, there are new optimization algorithms are every month. If you see the research directories or the databases, you will see a plenty of algorithms are available. In each and every month, a new algorithms are developed, right? So somebody modify something, and somebody you take genetic algorithm and PSO, can merge it. Somebody may merge PSO with end colony. Somebody may merge two different algorithms, design a hybrid algorithm, and claim that this hybrid algorithm is performs better than the genetic algorithm and the PSO algorithm, or any two algorithm it is taking their combination and claiming that hybrid one is always better than the previous one. That's why every month we are getting a lot of optimization algorithm. However, these algorithms are dying after releasing, right? After these algorithm is, no one is going to take away this algorithm for a particular problem, right? Which results two things. One is it leads to the research threat, because people are developing new algorithm, but nobody is using that algorithm to carry out the further work, right? Everybody is nowadays designing the hybrid algorithm in order to show the performance better, right? But nobody is going to see how we can improve a hybrid solution with another hybrid solution, right? So first one is there is a research threat. Second one is there is no advancement in the field of the soft computing. Soft computing field is not advanced. People are randomly taking the algorithms and showing that their results are better. So what is the solution? So Professor Rao suggested that you can go for simple optimization technique, or optimization technique, rather than go for metaphor based algorithm. Metaphor algorithm means you are taking GA is a metaphor, PSO is another metaphor. You are combining GA and PSO and proposing a new algorithm. So don't rely on the metaphor algorithm. Go for simple optimization algorithm or technique which will solve the complex scientific and engineering problems. Right. That's why he suggested, without going for this parameter type problem like crossover probability and mutation probability, if you go for a simple algorithm without this parameter, then that will be beneficial. So he developed three algorithms which is metaphorless. Also, these algorithms are parameterless algorithm. There is no parameter in order to monitor these algorithms. Although population is a parameter is there, design variable is a parameter is there, but other controlling parameter is not there in the Rao's algorithm. So in order to illustrate the Rao algorithm, again I will take a fitness function or a objective function. In this case, this objective function is your f of x, which you need to minimize or you need to maximize, right? And I am taking m number of design variables. As I mentioned in the TLBO, design variables are nothing but the subject, and n is nothing but the population size. Population is nothing but the number of students you have. What Professor Rao suggested, as I mentioned in the Joya algorithm also, you are relying on two different solutions. One is your best solution, another is your worst solution. Best solution case, you have to attract towards the best solution, and you have to avoid the worst solution, so that the convergence rate will be faster in order to reach the near optimal solution. The same thing is used here. So he is telling that he has used a variable BEST, best, in order to say a particular candidate is best, and he has taken another variable roast, right, in order to say that that solution is not better, right? So for the three algorithms, he designed three different objective functions, right? The functions are these objective functions. If you see, more or less they are look similar, but they are different, right? In the first algorithm, Professor Rao updated the values using the equation number 1, right? So he is using three different index. Don't be confused this one. I am telling you, first one, J, is nothing but a variable. That is nothing but your design variable. K is nothing but your population. First one is your design variable. Design variable means your subject. K is nothing but the student roll number, you can say, or student population number. I is nothing but the iteration. So three values represent your variable, followed by the candidate, followed by the iteration. So in order to update the values, he used a single formula. Just like Jaya algorithm, there is a single formula to update. There is no two-step process like TLBO. In TLBO case, you are going for teaching phase as well as the learning phase. But Jaya algorithm, both teaching and learning phase is combined in terms of the best solution as well as the worst solution. The same thing is extended here using Professor Rao, using these three equations by Professor Rao. So what you can see here, in order to update a value, you have to, in order to get the new value, what you have to do, you have to rely on your old value and with a random number, and your best solution minus the row solution. The difference between the base solution and row solution you have to take, multiply with the random number and add with your current values in order to get your new value. In the second case, what he suggested, you have to take your current position, you have to take one random number, that is nothing but the first part of the first equation, you have to take the difference between the best and worst part. But second case, he introduced a new thing, right? What he told? He told that randomly you have to do a pairing with another population. Like I mentioned, in the learning phase of PLBO, one population is pairing with another population, right? Another population it is doing the pairing. Just one student is learning with is studying with another student. That part he has mentioned here. So he's saying if the population is k, in the first case the population is k, as I mentioned, k is nothing but the candidate, L is another candidate. Suppose K decided that it need to map with L. It need to discuss the subject with L. So what happened? The fitness value of K, f of K, and if you see the fitness value of L, so it may happen that fitness value of K is greater than the fitness value of L. If such a thing happen, I have to remove this thing from here and I have to remove this L part from here. In the second part, I have to take the L part. Means the good fitness will be taken here. Always the good fitness will be taken here, and the roast fitness will be taken in this part. That's why there is a or I have written. You can take xjki or you can take xjli, right? If the fitness of k is greater than j, in the first case you have to take k. In the second case you have to take L. Similarly, if the fitness is not better, suppose the fitness of K is less than fitness of L, so what you can take? In the first case you can take L, second case you have to take the value K, right? Which population, out of these two population, wherever you are getting good, you have to take the first one, and whatever you are getting the rose one, that you have to take the second one. In the third equation, what happened? Here he has put the modulus, because sometimes these values are negative. But here he has taken the modulus function here and here only. Okay, that is highest fitness case and the roast fitness case, because sometimes you have to give the chance to the roast fit solution to improve its solution. That is the reason he put a modulus value in this case. So we are going to discuss this thing in the form of an example, so the idea is more clear. So that's why you have mentioned this x best I is nothing but the best candidate, s roast I is nothing but the roast candidate. That is the first part. First part of the equation number 2 and equation number 3, and this part of equation number 1, right? And these values are updated using two random number. Random number you can take in the range of 0 to 1. Then equation number 2, 3, as I mentioned, there is a K population and there is a L population. So what you have to do? You have to find their fitness and you have to compare the candidate solution of K with the candidate solution of L. And L you have randomly picked. The solution is randomly picked. So you are comparing the fitness value of K with L. If the fitness is better, if fitness of K is better, for example, in this case I mentioned, if K's fitness is better, so what I have to do? I have to take the first parameter as K and the second parameter is L. But if the fitness of K is not better, right? If L is better than the K, then I will take the first value as L, second value as K. That thing you have to do in the equation number 2 and equation number 3 in order to apply the algorithm. Okay, in order to demonstrate the first algorithm, that is Rao-1 algorithm, here we have taken a sphere function, right? Unconstrained benchmark sphere function. In that our objective is to minimize this f of xi, and f of xi is nothing but summation over I is equal to 1 to n xi square. So this is my fitness function. Like last PLBO case in Joya algorithm, what we have taken? We have taken Himagula function. We have taken the Himagula function in order to update these values, in order to calculate the fitness value. But in these three algorithms, Professor Rao has taken the sphere function to illustrate the algorithm. So as for your problem domain, this objective function you can select. But here the objective is to minimize. Again, he mentioned the range of the value is in between -100 to +100. And he told that if you solve this particular solution, the solution is already known, right? The solution is already known, that the solution, the optimal solution is 0. Just we have to check that whether we are getting the value close to 0 after running the RAW1 or RAW2 or RAW3 algorithm. Because this function is already solved, the value is already decided as 0, right? But in these subcomputing techniques, you may not get the exact solution. So you may get near optimal solution, that may be 0.01, or you may get -0.01 or something like that. So we will check. If you run this simulation, I will share the code with you. If you run that particular code, after a couple of iteration, your value is close to 0. So in this case also, I have taken 5 population, right? Total population is 5, that is nothing but our class strength, and we have taken 2 design variables, that is x1 and x2, which we can call as a subject, and we want to execute this RAW1 algorithm for 2 iterations. Just to illustrate, you can go for any number of iterations. So as the minimization is the criteria for the sphere function, so obviously the lowest value is nothing but the best solution. So what I did here, I have generated a random population here of 5+2 matrix, you can say. So here you can use the RANDI function, but in the previous case, as it is a decimal part, you can use RAND function, but in this case you can go for random integer function, right? So after generating this random number, that is 5+2 matrix, you can put this x1 and x2 value into the sphere function, right? That is your f of x. So once you put the value, you are going to get the fitness is this much, right?
In the f of x value, what is the n value there?
N is 5. N is 5, sir. Here.
It's 5.
N is nothing but our population size, and 2 is nothing but the design variable. That is nothing but the 2 subjects. 5 students are learning 2 different subjects. Here, if you calculate the f of x value by putting the x1 and x2 value, you are getting 349, right? Similarly, you can put these values of the other population and you can get their corresponding fitness value. Once you have calculated the fitness of all, you know that lowest value is the best solution and highest value is the worst solution. So what you can do, you can take out of this, the minimum one is 113. So 113 is the best solution and 1285 is the worst solution. So what you can do, the same thing I have written here. So what, in order to put these values in the first equation, that is in the RAW1 algorithm. So what you have to do, you have to generate a random number. Let the random number for the first iteration and first variable is 0.10. So I am keeping 0.10 here. So I am taking -5. The first population is -5, and I have to take the worst solution as well as the best solution, and I have to find the difference between the best solution and worst solution. So I am taking -5 plus random number is 0.10. The difference between the best and worst solution is -8 minus 14. So here there is a minus symbol is there. That's why it is -8 minus of plus 14. So you are going to get -7.2. So next case, in this case, in the second variable case, again I can take +18, and I have generated a second random number, that is 0.50, and I am calculating 7 minus 33. So I am going to get 5. After getting this x1 value, updated value of x1 and x2, what I have to do, I have to put these two value into f of x. If I put these two value in f of x, that after putting this x1, x2 value, I am getting the value is 76.84. So you can see the lowest value is better. So obviously the first solution is better in comparison to the old solution. So what I have to do, I have to replace the updated x1, x2 value into my old solution. Like that, you can go for second candidate with respect to the second and fourth candidate, third candidate with second and fourth candidate, fourth with the second and fourth candidate, fifth with the second and fourth candidate. Why we are going for second and fourth candidate? Because fourth candidate is going to give us the best solution. Worst candidate is the second population. So after calculating this one, assume that you are getting these are the new values. Now I am comparing the fitness, as I am comparing here 76.84 with 349. I told you 76.84 is better. Similarly, other cases also I am going to compare. If you compare these things, you can get this is the updated one. See, in this case, obviously 539 is better than 1285. So new population is there. But in these three cases, if you see the new values are not performing better, but old values are performing better. So I am retaining the solution 3, 4, 5, and I am updating solution 1 and 2. So after the first iteration is over in the Rao-1 algorithm, the best solution, you can see here, the best solution is 113, is improved to the 76.84, and the Roche solution is 1285, which is improved to 936. So this is the one-step process of the Rao-1 algorithm. So as my termination condition is not satisfied, I have to go for another round, right? Because my termination condition is 2. Until unless the 2 round is over, I will not stop. So I have taken this population, whatever there in this particular slide, just I have copied the same thing here. So what I have to do here, I have to calculate which one is best. You know, this is the lowest one, so this is the best, and this is the highest one. This is the Roche solution. So I will take the first value. I'll take first population with 1 and 3, second population with 1 and 3, third population with 1 and 3. Like that, I have to continue in order to generate for the second population. So I am taking minus 7.2 with a random number 0.80, and difference between minus 7.2 and 30. So I am getting minus 36.96. Similarly, I am taking 5 plus the difference between 5 and minus 6 with a random value of 0.10. So I am getting the value as 6.1. After getting these two values, I will put this value in the f of x. After putting the f of x, I am getting the value as 1403.2516. So obviously, this solution is not better. This value is not better. Our old solution is better. So what I have to do, I have to keep the old solution, and wherever I am getting better in the case of new, for example, in this case it is 936 earlier case, but here it is 24.0676. So I am retaining my new solution. But other case, I am retaining my old solution. So once you have calculated this one, you can see our first solution is 113, is now improved to 24.0676, and the Roche solution is initial case it is 1285, but it is now reduced to your 539.24, right? So you can see in each and every step we are going to close to the solution, right? So if you go for a couple of rounds, you will see the value will be close to 0, right? As you know, the solution for the sphere function is 0. So if you increase the number of iteration, that's what I am saying. If you increase the number of iteration, then the known values of the objective function can be obtained. The known value is, we know, that is 0. So you can reach to the known the value close to 0. But when you go for the maximization problem, Rao-1 algorithm can also be applied for the maximization problem. There, what you have to choose? You have to choose the maximum value as the best one, and the lowest value is the Roche one. Just we have to reverse the Roche with the best one and best with the Roche one in order to see the effectiveness of the algorithm, right? And you can see this Rao algorithm performs better in comparison to the traditional algorithm as claimed in the Professor Rao's paper. In fact, you can see that the results are better in the standard data sets as well. So if you have any questions, you can ask about Rao-1 algorithm before moving to Rao-2. If you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll go for Rao-2 algorithm.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sanjay sir, is there any comparison with TLB and Jaya algorithm exist with the Rao-1?
Yes, yes. It is there, sir. Because this best and Roche case comparison, right? This concept initiated at the Jaya algorithm, right? So in comparison to the Jaya algorithm, this algorithm performs better.
Okay, okay. And among this Rao 3 versions algorithm, Rao 1.
Rao 3, he mentioned with respect to the data set, he mentioned which algorithm is better.
Okay.
If you, I will give the link of that paper. In fact, I will share that paper also after the end of this lecture, so you can you can see that particular paper.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question?
Yeah, Dr. Sanjay, I have a
Yes,
question.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, actually, many of the times the problem that we face with this evolutionary computation is that whenever you run this algorithm, you get a new answer.
Yes.
It may be in the vicinity of the normal answer, but you don't get the same answer every time. So that is the
Yes.
reason many of the people are rejecting these for the real-time applications. Is this problem overcome in the TLBO and Jaya Rao algorithm?
No, your solution will be improved.
Can we
Like,
guarantee the same solution whenever we run the algorithm? So that is my question.
no, you may not get. See, madam. Suppose my optimum value is 0. Yes, yes. Hello, is my voice audible? Hello, is it
Hello,
audible?
sir. Yeah, now
Yes,
it
ma'am.
is audible.
Yes, yes. Madam, assume that for a particular problem, as I mentioned in the sphere case, the 0 is our optimal solution, right? So
Okay.
whenever you go for a number of iterations, let's say I am writing my iteration t is equal to 20, your value is 0. Let's say 0.9, right? Then whenever you go for iteration number 21, you will get the value as, let's say, 0.089, right? So if you increase the iterations, you will see that there is a minimum number of improvement. It means the value is improved very slowly, right? And after a couple of iterations, you will see the value is close to 0, right? If you see, if you increase the number of iterations, like if you see in the first case, in the iteration number 1, then followed by the iteration number 2, the value is drastically improved, right? But if you increase the number of iterations, in the higher number of iterations, the value will not be reduced to in that convergence rate. It will go in a very slower manner, right? That's why you have to choose a particular termination condition. Generally, I mentioned that if the two iterations we are getting more or less the same value, that we are keeping as our stopping criteria. Is it clear, ma'am? Is my voice audible?
Yeah, now it is audible, sir. Earlier I could not hear.
Is it same with all? That my voice is not audible?
No, it is audible only.
Okay.
Audible.
Okay.
Madam,
Some
what I am
problem.
saying, yes, madam, what I am saying, if you increase the number of iteration, the way we are getting good quality of solution, it will be not in that much great, right? First case, you may get a good solution. For example, here you can see 113 is coming to 24 after 2 iteration. But whenever you go for 20 iteration, you can see the value is not improving in that rate. That's why we are saying that we are taking only 20 and 30 iteration. After that, whatever value is coming, that we are accepting as our solution. And it hardly matters the value is 0 or 0.05 for a particular problem, because the sort space is very huge.
But my question is in GA, if I'm starting with, let us say, 40 population, and in first run I may start with 40 random population, and
Yes.
the problem is converged and I keep the answer aside, and second time when I start with new 40 population members, the answer
Different
that
rate.
I get is not matching with what I got in the previous case. That is my
Right.
problem.
Yes. So in this solution, as a part of solution, what you have to do, you go for any research paper. They have clearly mentioned in the experimentation or simulation. They have mentioned they have run this particular program for 10 times and 20 times, and they have taken the average value as the final solution.
Yeah, correct, sir. But is that problem overcome in this TLBO, Jaya and Rao algorithms? That was my question.
Yes. You can get better solution in this case, because you should not rely on more parameter like crossover probability, mutation probability. Many things are there, but here the algorithm is very simple.
Yeah, correct, sir. Yeah, in electrical problems, this is the reason why people do not believe on this soft computing, because on real time applications we cannot apply. Offline things we are able to do, but real time it is.
In each and every case that we are doing, we are relying on the random number. That is the reason why people are not
Yeah, that is
interested
the
to apply
problem.
this. Yes.
Yes, sir.
That is true.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, please.
Can I add a thing over here? Means
Yes,
some
yes, sir.
point.
Please, sir.
Because it may happen that this crossover and mutation that you are using in GA, that may
Yes.
be helpful in some of the cases.
In this
that
case,
is
you want
not.
to apply that probability, crossover probability and mutation probability.
No,
You want to apply.
I am telling that in some of the problems, it may
Okay.
happen that due to that crossover and mutation, it
Yes.
may get a better result than this TLBO.
Yes. See that is there, right? You cannot means here you can say this algorithm is a little bit simple one. It is not using parameter for all types of problem. We cannot assure that the GA will perform better or Rao algorithm will perform better or TLBO perform better.
Right.
But in case of parameter, as it is a parameter-less algorithm, this algorithm is more popular in comparison to GA.
Computation also, it will take
Yes, yes,
less
yes, yes,
computing time.
yes, yes. As we are relying in a one or two formulas, so obviously the
Right.
computation is better. But in no problem,
Thank you.
any type of problem you are solving, so you cannot claim that always the PSO will give me a better result than the GA or TLPO will give a
Right.
better result, right?
Right.
So let us
So
go.
And then,
everything depends upon randomness.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's why we are
yeah,
taking, we are running for a couple of iteration and whatever average value is there, and we are claiming that is our solution.
yeah, Dr. Sanjay, I have one more question, if you permit.
Yes, 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 ma'am, please.
Yeah, and all these evolutionary algorithms, we say that they give you near optimal solution, right?
Yes,
Can any of the algorithm claim that the solution that we get is a global optimal solution?
no, no, ma'am. The
No,
answer is
not
clear no, no,
conventional, not evolutionary.
no. If you solve, for example, in mathematics, something called Newton-Raphson method is there, right?
Correct.
If you remember that Newton-Raphson method, there also whatever value you are getting, it is not the optimal solution.
Okay.
Okay, you may get the value close to whatever the solution is there. Maybe if you are solving a quadratic equation, you are getting the value is x is equal to 2 and 3. So if you are applying this algorithm, you will get the value as 1.99 and let's say 3.01, something like that. But
Okay.
all the algorithm meta heuristic always claim that we are getting near optimal solution. Again, there is a question: what is the meaning of near optimal solution? What is my
Yes.
error rate?
Correct.
So that is also not defined in any algorithm. But every algorithm claim that is giving a near optimal solution.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. So in the second algorithm, that is Rao-2 algorithm, we are taking the same population size and same design variable, same termination condition, and same f of x, right? And in fact, this slide is same as your Rao-1 algorithm, first slide, right? So here what I do, here the formula is little bit changed, right? In addition to the first one, you have seen that in the learning phase we are doing pairing, right? In the TLBO case, in the learning phase we are doing pairing, right? So in addition to take this part is same as your Rao-1 algorithm, right? We have to take what? We have to take a pair between two different populations, right? For example, let us take for the first population. For the first population I am taking, and out of these 5 population, the best population is 4, and the roast population is our 2. So I am taking 1 to 4. And in order to make a pair between two different population, here one population we know that is one need to initiate with the other population in order to do the pairing. So one has to generate a random number in between 2 and 2 to 5. Let the random number coming is 2. So one has to pair with 2. So it also depends upon the random number what value will come, right? So based upon this pairing, you have to set the values in the second part, right? For example, in this case, I will take -5 plus random number that is 0.10, and the difference between your best solution and roast solution that is -8 -14, right? But in the second case, second part, what you have to do is you are interacting. The first candidate is interacting with second candidate, which is selected randomly. You have to check that whether the population of the first one is better or the population of the second one is better. If you see these two, which one is better? Obviously, the first solution is better, second solution is not better. That's why you have to take the first solution here and second solution here, right? In case, if the second solution is better, first solution is not better, so you have to take this index as 2 and this index as 1, right? Whichever is best, you will take as first one, and whichever is worst, you have to take the second one. That's why in this case, what we are taking, the best one is -5, so I am taking -5 here, and the bad one, that is roast one, is 14, so I am taking 14 here. So I am getting the value as -11.7. Similarly, for the second variable, what I have to take? 18 plus random number, then the difference between 7 and 33, that is 7 minus 33, plus a random number. Then I have to check which two are best. Obviously, the best fitness value got by population number 1. So I have to do 18 minus 33. So I am getting the value as -0.6. So once you have calculated the new fitness value, what you have to do? You have to calculate the f of x, right? We got the value as -11.7 and -0.6. I have calculated their fitness. Their fitness I am getting 137.25, but earlier their fitness value is 349 with x1 value -5, x2 value 18. So the solution is improved here, right? As the solution is improved here, what you have to do? You have to replace this x1, x2 value with old x1, x2 value, right? Like that, you have to go for the second population, third population, fourth population, fifth population, and you have to make pairing of the second population with someone, third with someone, fourth with someone, and fifth with someone. That's why I mentioned here, the random interactions are assumed with 2 with 5, 3 with 1, 4 with 2, 5 with 4. After doing the interactions, you are going to get these values. Then you are comparing the old f of x value with the new f of x value. Then you are updating your current population. So as you can see here, in the first three cases, 137, 324, 602 is obviously better than the previous f of x. But 113, 468 is better than your 364 and 1544 respectively. That's why we are keeping our old solution. So here I am keeping the old solution, first three solutions my new solutions. So here also you can see the best solution is 113, but here the best solution is not improved. You can see here the best solution is 130, but after getting the new one also, the best solution in this case it is 137. If you before updating, that is 137. So the solution is not improving. But if you see the roast value case, it is earlier, it is 1285, but now it is improved to 602.73. So such cases may happen, right? Such cases may happen that the solution is not improving in a particular case. What you have to do? You have to do for another iteration. For the another iteration, what I have to do? Let the row solution I have calculated, that is 3 is my row solution because it is holding the highest value. Best solution is the lowest value. So what I have to take the population number 1, and I have to choose a pair of population number 1, which is assumed to be 4, which is generated randomly. So here I have taken 4. So 1 has to interact with 4 in this part, right? 1 has interacted with the 4 in order to update these values. In the first part, you have to go for the best solution versus worst solution, right? So it is -11.7, and the difference between -8 and 15.3, right? And out of this 1 and 4, if you see and 1 and 4, which one is best? 4 is the best solution. Their fitness value, if you check, the fitness value best is for the population number 4, but the fitness value of 1 is not better. That's why the formula is 4 minus 1. You can see the index here it is 4, and here the index is 1, right? And 2 indicate the second iteration. The last value you can see in all the values, all the variables, the last value is 2. 2 indicate the second iteration, right? So the difference is you can get here 8, that is -8, as it is modulus is there, it is +8 minus your 11.7, right? So you are going to get 12.303 for the second variable. You are going to get 7, the difference between 7 and -19.2. In the second case, you are getting 7 and 0.6. So you are getting new x1 and x2 value. Once you are getting the new x1 and x2 value, what you have to do? You have to check with the old values. So this is the new solution and this is the old solution. So I am checking one population new fitness with your old fitness. As you can see, your old fitness is better in the first case. Second case, the new population is better. Third case, new population better. Fourth case, new population better. Fifth case, old population is better. That's why the value is operated like this, right? So here you can see the initial value best case is 113, but it is improved to 107.517. Similarly, the worst case solution initially it is 1285, it is improved to 512.331. So if you run this simulation for multiple times, this iteration, multiple iteration, it is expected that you will get the value close to the 0, right? And in the case of the maximization problem, what you have to do, you have to choose the highest value as your best sample and the lowest value as your worst sample. So this is the end of the route to algorithm. If you have any doubt, you can ask before moving to the last algorithm. Okay, so let us discuss the RAW3 algorithm. In RAW3 algorithm, the same data we have taken like RAW1 and RAW2 algorithm. So this slide is same as the previous slides. So what I have to do, I have to choose the best one and the worst one, right? But here you have to, the formula is little bit changed, right? In terms of modulus operator, they have changed because earlier the modulus operator is given to, you can see in this case, it is given to the between the interaction between two different candidates. But in the last equation, it is given to the row solution, right? To improve their solution, as well as to the among the interaction, we are giving one modulus value. So see here, in this case, you can see the first candidate, the new value of x1, x2 during the first iteration are calculated using that particular formula. And we will see first candidate is pairing with the second candidate. As we have seen in the RAW2 algorithm, here also you have to do the pairing. So let first one candidate, population number 1 is interacting with population number 2. What we will do for the, in order to update the x value of 1, so what you have to take? You have to take the row solution as well as the best solution as well as your interaction with the 2. So you have to take the second sample. So in what way you can update? You can take -5 plus the random number is 0.10. The difference between the roast and best, that is -8 and -14. But here it is given, modulus is given to the roast solution, right? And among the interaction between 1 and 2, you know that one solution is better, one's fitness value is better than the second fitness value. So what happened here? So it is given modulus to the first candidate, that is the best solution, right? So here it is -5 modulus and 14. That is -5, 14. So you are getting the updated value as -11.7. Similarly, in this case, you can see you will take 18 plus random number is 0.60. Difference between the row solution and best solution, that is 7 minus 33. And interaction between 1 and 2, you will subtract 18 minus 33. So you are getting minus 0.6. Okay. So after getting the new value, again the same procedure is same. You have to update, you have to calculate the f of x. Similarly, interaction is assumed between 2 and 5, 3 and 1, and 4 and 2, and 5 and 4. Okay. So after getting the update value, I am calculating f of x for L. All, then f of x is compared, the new f of x value is compared with the old f of x value. If old f of x value is better, then I am keeping it. If new f of x value is better, I am keeping the new f of x value. So let us assume that after comparing this old fx and new x value, we are getting this table. So you can also see in the RAW3 algorithm also, we are not improving the best value in the first iteration. We are retaining the same value. The solution for the best value is not improved. But in the roast value case, it is improved from 1285 to 516.33. As a part of the second iteration, again, what you have to take, you have to calculate the best solution among the new samples, okay, and the roast samples. Let we are getting here in the population number 4, which is the old one. Population 3 is the new one, which is giving you the roast solution. So I am keeping is the best solution as 4 and roast solution is 3. Then I am taking candidate 1 and I am assuming that candidate 1 is going to pair with candidate number 4, right? So the interaction will be happen between candidate number 1 and 4. But out of 1 and 4, you know that 4 is better than the 1. The fitness value of 4 is better than the 1. So what you can do, you have to write the formula as 4, then 1. If 1 is better, then you can write 1 followed by 4. And similarly, I put the value, first value is -11.7 and the random number is 0.1. Then the difference between the best and row, that is -8 and -15.3. and interaction between 1 and 4. So I am going 4 value first, that is minus 8 and minus 11.7. So I am getting the value as minus 9.963, right? And if you see similar in the second variable case, I am taking minus 0.6, and the difference between the best and worst is minus 7 minus 16.8, and the interaction between the best sample, that 1 with 4, that is 7 minus 0.6, you are getting 2.22, right? After getting the new value, what you are going to do, you are again taking the fitness value. The fitness value is better than the previous iterations value, right? So what you have to do, which solution is better, you have to check. Based upon that, you have to update your population. So in this case, you have seen that your best value is increased from 113 to 177.853, and roast value is improved from 1285, which is initially it is 1285, but in this iteration it is reduced to 324. So if you run this simulation for multiple times, after some expectation, you will get the value close to 0. And again the same thing, if it is the maximization function, take the best sample, whatever we have taken here as the roast sample, and roast sample as a best sample. This is all about the route algorithm, which was proposed in the year of 2020, in the month of July 2020, and you may refer these papers of Professor Rao, right? And you can see the last paper is the paper which focuses on the Rao algorithm. And
Sir?
Yes, please, sir.
Rao, what is the difference between this Rao 2 and Rao 3 algorithm?
Rao 1 algorithm and Rao 2 algorithm, the only difference is the modulus function, sir. Earlier, while you are doing interaction between the first candidate with another candidate, which we have generated randomly, the modulus is present here. Let me show the slide so that it is more clear. You can see here, sir, it is more clear in this particular slide. Yes, you can check. In this case, while you are making interaction with one population with another population, that is the population number K with population number L, you are keeping the modulus in this side. But here you are giving the solution, the row solution, you are keeping modulus here, and in the K sample, in the first sample, wherever your fitness is better. In order to improve the row solution and in order to improve the factor here, the interaction factor. This is the only difference. Although the two functions are looks same. So thank you very much. You can refer. I will share the slide. You can get these papers, right? I'll also share the last paper. So if you have any questions, you can ask. In fact, I have not planned that I will cover the Rao algorithm. I thank our director, Professor N.V. Ramana Rao sir, to share this concept with all the faculty members, by which I got the information about Rao algorithm. Then I have immediately explored. So those who are interested in the soft computing domain, I request you to first immediately implement the Rao algorithm and write your paper and compare with the traditional algorithm if you are getting better result. So there is a maximum possibility that you will get good. There is a high chance that your paper will be accepted, right? So as it is a very recent algorithm, I request to apply in your respective domain. Okay, we'll stop here, right? If you don't have any questions, let me check the chat box once. Why you are using the mode function, right? That is a good question. I hope, as per my knowledge, the mode function is used to improve the solution. We are giving chance to improve the solution because we know that best one will be always there. So we are giving chance to a specific parameter to improve their solution. Just like we are improving the knowledge level in the case of TLBO and Joy algorithm. Sir, you implement Rao 1, Rao 2 and Rao 3. There is no, if you can implement Rao 1, then you can implement Rao 2 and Rao 3. There is no such difference, right? And the code is also there. I'll share the code anyhow. Few participants also requested. I'll share the code, don't worry. Although this code is available in Professor Rao's website, you can go for the Google website and you can download it. but I'll download it and I'll share with you. Considering all these algorithms for termination condition, if suppose in the subsequent iteration there is no change in the value obtained, those values are not reaching the threshold that we desire. So how we proceed further in their case? What I understood from your question, if it is not falling in a particular range, like I have mentioned here, -100 to +100, if it is not reaching into your solution, you have to forcefully make it to a particular range. Like I told you in the PSO, if the range is outside 1 or outside 0, then if it is outside 0, then you can keep 0.01. If it is exceeding 1, then you can put 0.99. In that manner, you can restrict the boundary. Next question, let me see the top questions if any things are there. Okay, next question is that are coupling ANN and optimization algorithm codes available ready-made? Yes, in MATLAB there is a neural network toolbox is there. Okay, this toolbox is also having 9 or 10 programs. If you have installed MATLAB, just you download from the authentic source. Okay, a neural network toolbox by which you can implement this algorithm very easily. And this soft compute. Yes, yes.
ANN coupled with genetic algorithm like that, can we code?
No. You can code. Yes, you can code, but such algorithms are not available.
Ready-made it is not available, sir.
No. If you are mixing one algorithm with another algorithm, that is not available. But individually, the algorithm codes are available, and it is in inbuilt functions are already there in MATLAB. You can.
Neural network is there. ANN is there, sir. Like genetic
genetic algorithm is also there in MATLAB.
Coupling both of them?
Coupling both are not there, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Yes. This coupling is your own idea, right? Or is in a particular author's idea, right?
No, authors only. One paper it was there.
Yes, but that paper is not that much popular, right?
Maybe.
ANN, in comparison to ANN and genetic algorithm, that paper is not that much popular, right?
So they take the output of ANN and optimize it.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. If that is providing better result, and if that paper is highly cited, then it will come into the toolbox, right?
Okay.
Any algorithm we are merging, that will not come to the toolbox.
Okay.
Okay. Another question, that is, what is motivation behind Rao's algorithm like PSO? Is inspired from social behavior. Yes, this is a classroom teaching, right? I mentioned very beginning that the TLBO Jaya algorithm is our classroom teaching and what people are doing in their hostel, right? So their interactions is motivated Professor Rao to apply TLBO and Jaya algorithm. And if you see, after invention of these algorithms, people have largely accepted this algorithm. Although genetic algorithm is a very popular algorithm from 1975, but after 2011, people are using this TLBO and Jaya algorithm irrespective of the problem domain. What are the difference among the Rao 1, Rao 2, Rao 3 algorithm? In the Rao 1 algorithm, we are dealing with the best and worst sample, but Rao 2 the algorithm 3, there is an interaction is there, right? And Rao 2 algorithm, Rao 3 algorithm, only the modulus operator is changed to improvise the solution. Okay, so I hope I have